learned to read the weather like a system. Low pressure means I'll think of you by 8. The city changes color before a storm hits. You always call me over, you were never late. Now I watch the window like a habit. Now I make my coffee and I wait. Now I make my coffee and I wait. There's no logic left in how I miss you. Just clouds assembling, just the wanting through. Rain protocol, stand by the glass. Watch the street, remember all the years that passed. Count the drops until they form a pattern. Tell myself you're fast. Rain protocol, I run it every time. Looking for your code, looking for a sign. You said that rain made every city honest. Stripped the performance, left the architecture bare. I think of that on days like this, when the storm pulls back the skin of everywhere. And what I see is just a street without you. Honest, bare, and almost too much to bear. There's no logic left in how I miss you. Just clouds assembling, just the wanting through. One day I'll pass the window and not stop. One day the rain will come and I'll just let it drop. One day your coat won't be the one I look for, and that'll be the day I finally learn to drop the protocol, the vigil, the glass, the very last thing built to make you last. Rain protocol, stand by the glass. Watch the street, remember all the years that passed. Count the drops until they form a pattern. Tell myself you're fast. Rain protocol, I run it every time. Looking for your code, looking for a sign. I'll count the drops until they stop meaning something, until your code is just a code, and that's the last. Rain protocol, looking for your code and finding only mine. The rain comes, I don't go to the window, almost. We drove with no destination, past the bridge where the river swallows all its light. You pressed your thumb against the fogged up window and wrote the one word I won't recite. The radio played something we both hated. We sang it loud enough to drown the night. I didn't need a map to find you then, but now I can't find north again. Come back to November, when the world was small and cold and ours. Come back to the quiet, before we learn the names of all our scars. I keep the month alive and how I remember. Come back to November. You left a 10 spat in my nervous system, some frequency I can't undo. I don't miss the love as much as I miss who I was when I was close to you. Not the ending, not the sweetest morning, just the Tuesday I was breathing through. I didn't need a map to find you then, but now I can't find north again. Come back to November, when the world was small and cold and ours. Come back to the quiet, before we learn the names of all our scars. I keep the month alive and how I remember. Come back to November. There are cities I will never books I set aside unfinished, because your name is somewhere in the verse. This isn't grief, it's just geography. A place I lived, a place I'm still. Come back to November, when the world was small and cold and ours. Come back to the quiet, before we learn the names of all our scars. I keep them alive, somehow it's remember. Come back to November, the map ends where you do. You change the way I enter every room, the angle on my shoulders, how I pause. I catch myself performing all the gestures you taught me, without syntax, without clause. The way I hold a glass, the way I listen before I let my own voice find its cause. I am the house you built without a blueprint. I hold the shape of every room you meant. You are still architecture in the way I carry what you gave. Not ruins and not monument, just beams inside a life you helped me raise. I am still architecture. You are still the hands that shape the frame, and every love I let inside this structure walks through doors you built and says my name. I read an article about how cities change, how streets remember older streets below. The current map, a layering of intentions of everyone who shaped the way things go. You are a form, a street inside my present, a foundation, not a wound, a flow. I am the house you built without a blueprint. I hold the shape of every room you mend. You are still architecture in the way I carry what you gave. Not ruins and not monument, just beams inside a life you helped me raise. I am still architecture. You are still the hands that shape the frame, and every love I let inside this structure walks through doors you built and says my name. Maybe love is less a thing that happens and more a force that builds and doesn't leave. Maybe you are not a chapter I closed, but a language that I still know how to read. I don't reach for you, I don't revisit, I just live inside what you believe. You are still architecture in the way I carry what you gave. Not ruins and not monuments on a love I didn't fully understand. The building stands, it always did. You're the thought I have right before every other thought. Before the coffee, before the calendar, before the world gets its hands on me, before the world gets its hands on me and makes me sensible again. There's a moment, half a second, where the mind hasn't organized itself yet, and you live there permanently, without paying anything, without knowing. I've tried to sublet that space. No one else fits. I am so quietly, devastatingly yours, and you don't even have to try. I've been undone by smaller things than you, but nothing this complete, nothing this precise. Quietly, devastatingly yours. My friends have started using the phrase that look on your face in reference to you. Apparently it is reginundable from across a room. Apparently I am not as mysterious as I believed. I've been working on a version of myself that wants less. She's fictional. She's never met you. I am so quietly, devastatingly yours. Every ordinary hour, every unmarkable Tuesday, every room that doesn't contain you, that somehow still does. Quietly, devastatingly yours. Don't fix it. Don't fix this. Some things are better left completely, irrevocably broken open. I want to be this. I choose to be this. Devastatingly yours. We kept the house so clean through all of it. Dishes washed, the bed made every day. We moved around each other like professionals, two people who had learned to stay away. The war was in the pauses, in the doorways, in the careful way we didn't say. I kept my hands from reaching, you kept yours. We called it peace, it was something worse. We fought without a single word between us. No wreckage, no apology, no scar. Just two people slowly disappearing into the distance of a house too small by far. Bloodless war, the cleanest kind of damage. You can't heal what never left a mark. I made a list once of the conversations we never had, but should have had by spring. The list got long, I folded it, I lost it. That was us, avoiding everything. I used to think that silence was protection. Now I know it's just surrendering. I kept my hands from reaching, you kept yours. We called it peace, it was something worse. We fought without a single word between us. No wreckage, no apology, no scar. Just two people slowly disappearing into the distance of a house too small by far. Bloodless war, the cleanest kind of damage. You can't heal what never left a mark. There's a kind of love that asks for nothing, not because it's full, but because it's gone. And we mistook the quiet for contentment. We mistook the stillness for holding on. We were so careful, we were so polite. We loved each other into good night. We fought without a single word between us. We called it peace, it was something worse. We fought without a single word between us. No wreckage, no apology, no scar. Just two people slowly disappearing into the distance of a house too small by far. Bloodless war, the cleanest kind of damage. You can't heal what never left a mark. Can't heal what never left a mark. The dishes are still clean. That tells you everything. You left your coat on my chair again, like evidence you meant to stay. I read your silence like a second language I never asked to learn. The street light caught your shoulder as you turned, that half look over glass and rain. And I keep finding reasons not to leave, folding the hours into shapes I don't believe. I am not broken, I am blessed. You saw straight through me as you passed, and every room I walk into without you still holds the shape of what we almost were. I memorized the rhythm of your breathing before I memorized your name. Now every stranger's laugh across a rooftop sounds like something I can't reclaim. I water the plant you gave me and pretend it doesn't mean a thing. And I keep finding reasons not to leave, folding the hours into shapes I don't believe. I am not broken, I am blessed. You saw straight through me as you passed, and every room I walk into without you still holds the shape of what we almost were. Maybe the ending was always right there, in the way you kissed me without closing your eyes. I just kept choosing the version of you that only ever lived inside my mind. I am not broken, I am blessed. You saw straight through me as you passed, and every room I walk into without you still holds the shape of what we almost were. And the coat's still on the chair. I found your jacket in my closet and stood there for 10 full minutes like a woman at a shrine. I'm aware of how that sounds, I'm telling you anyway, because honesty is the last dignity I have, and I'm spending it here on you, as I have spent most things. You make me extravagant. You make me the kind of woman who stands in closets, communing with wall and memory. I did not ask for this character development. I am reluctantly grateful for it. Take me apart and see what's inside. Not gently, I've had gentle. I want the version where you actually look, where you turn the thing over in your hands and say, I see, this is what she's made of. This is what she holds like this. Take me apart. Take me apart. I am not fragile in the way you think. I am fragile in a much more interesting way, the kind that comes from caring too much for too long, at full volume, with no apology. The jacket is still there, by the way. I moved it to the left side, the side where things go that I'm not ready to decide about, the side that's mostly you. put myself back together after. I always do. I just want you to see the interior first. I want you to know what you're working with, what you've always been working with. The worst thing you ever did to me was make me wanna know you better. Every door you opened led to another door. Every honest thing you said made the dishonest world sight unbearable. Now I carry you like a new prescription, something that changes how a new prescription, something that changes how everything looks, something I can't imagine not taking. I thought I knew my limits. You were very polite about demonstrating otherwise. The 4 a.m. gets, the 4 a.m. version, the one who isn't performing anything. I want the mess, the fear, the quiet doubt. I wanna be the place you come to when you don't know how to talk about it. I want the version of you nobody gets, not the polished one, not the public one, the one who forgets to be impressive, the one who needs something. I want that one, only that one. You're generous with charm, you're careful with your heart. I respect that. I also intend to outlast it, not by force, by consistency. Got you. I've always had you. 3 years since I moved the furniture. Your side of the wall still gets the morning first. I made a rule, no songs before 11. You know exactly why. You know the worst. But some days I break it just to feel it. That sending hand glow, that's to feel it. That sending hand glow that still converts. I am not waiting, I just haven't changed the light. Some things you keep not out of loss, out of right. It's your sending hand glow on my walls now. Your laughter built into my nerve. I didn't lose you, I translated, yeah, and everything I've learned, second-handed, still golden, still somehow completely earned. I showed someone your photograph last winter. They said, I see why, and smiled. And I felt proud in a way I didn't expect, like introducing a favorite book compiled from all the years I spent becoming someone who love without denial. Love doesn't disappear, it migrates into how I listen, into who I let in close. You are the standard I forgot I said, until someone else became almost. It's your sending hand glow on my walls now. Your patience built into my nerve. I didn't lose you, I translated you into everything I am and still deserve. Second-handed, still golden. Grateful for every single curve. And the morning comes in golden still. There's a cafe on the corner that we never named officially, just called the place. I still go on Thursdays, out of muscle memory, order what I ordered when you faced me across a small table, laughing at something that required zero context, required grace. The city didn't change when you left it. The city didn't change when you left it. The city didn't change when you left it. I did, and now the city feels. Every version of the city holds you. The bridge at dust, the market in the rain. I've walked these streets into a kind of ritual, collecting all the places we remained. Every version of the city knows me as someone who passed through here holding your name. I am staying, you are gone, but the city keeps us both the same. I moved apartments twice, still north of where you lived that winter, on the 4th floor flat. I tell myself it's coincidence, convenience, that I'm not mapping something, that's that. But some geography is less about that's that. But some geography is less about logistic and more about not giving it all back. The city didn't change when you left it. I did, and now the city feels. Every version of the city holds you. The bridge at dust, the market in the rain. I've walked these streets into a kind of ritual, collecting all the places we remained. Every version of the city knows me as someone who passed through here holding your name. I am staying, you are gone, but the city keeps us both the same. Maybe this is how love actually lasts. Not in the person, but the place they pressed. A corner, a rooftop, a particular light. A city built to hold what words can't confess. I am not haunted, I am located. I am located. I live exactly here, inside the rest. Every version of the city holds you. The bridge at dust, the market in the rain. Every version of the city knows me. Someone who passed through here holding your name. I am staying, you are gone, but the city keeps us both the same. Thursday, the cafe, table by the window, mine. You've been drinking my name like it's something you need to survive. I learned your silence the way you learn a second language, by making every mistake twice. There's a photograph of us I never took, but I've seen it every night. The way the lamp made your face look like something that could make, like something that could woman lose her mind. I keep saying I'm almost over it. I keep lying in the same breath. You're the song I can't stop singing when I'm trying to sleep. mind fossilized. I trace the outline of your shoulder with closed eyes. And every version of myself I've tried to build still finds its way back through your door at the same ungodly hour I promised I'd ignore. Surrender was a kind of death. Now I think it's the only thing that lets me breathe. Now I think it's the only thing that lets me breathe. So take it, take whatever's left. You're the song I can't stop singing, louder than before. You're the wound I keep reopening because I need it more. From this room, I'll still be here, smelling like your perfume. Therapy helped, the journal helped, the moving, the new apartment with the eastern light. I did the work, the structured, careful grieving. I processed you from morning into night. I graduated from the thing that held me. I closed the chapter, did it right. Then someone touched my shoulder in a hallway, the same way you would, and I came apart. The mind can't legitate what the body keeps, the memory, the chest that drops. What the body keeps runs deeper than the language, older than the reasoning that stops. What the body keeps is not about the wanting, it's the firmament underneath the loss. I am fine, I am completely over. And then a song plays and I pay the cost. Don't believe in holding on forever. I've seen what that becomes by 45. But there's a category below intention, below the will to survive, where you are less a person than a pattern, a reflex in the way I come alive. Then someone touched my shoulder in a hallway, the same way you would, and I came apart. What the body keeps, the mind can't legitate, the shoulder memory, the chest that drops. What the body keeps runs deeper than the language, older than the reasoning that stops. What the body keeps is not about the wanting, it's the firmament underneath the loss. I am fine, I am completely over. And then your season comes and I pay the cost. Maybe this is just the human contract, that love leaves files the system cannot clear. Not haunting, not unfinished, just embedded. A version of you permanently here, not in my thoughts, not in my choices, just in the way my body holds the year. What the body keeps, the mind can't legitate, the shoulder memory, the chest that drops. What the body keeps runs deeper than the language, older than the reasoning that stops. What the body keeps is not about the wanting, it's just the shape of everything I lost. I am fine, I am completely over. What the body keeps, what the body keeps is just the cost. I've been trying to write the song that makes you understand, and this is my 17th attempt. The others were too angry, or too soft, or too clearly about you. in a way you could deny. This one I'm leaving undisguised. Consider it my final conceit. I am simply gonna tell you the truth and let the melody make it bearable. I loved you for I understood what that would cost. I love you now and I know exactly what it cost. I love you anyway, that's the whole lyric. That's the whole confession. Every song ends with you. Minor key or major, slow or fast. I always found my way back to the part that sounds like your name. Every song ends with you. The seventh attempt is simpler than the others. It doesn't try to be clever. It just says, I see you. Not the surface thing, not the public thing. The real one, the scared one, the one that got built from all the years before me. I see it, and it's the most beautiful thing I've ever decided to love. Every song ends with you. Every road, every room, every year. Didn't matter the tempo, I always arrived here. Every song ends with you. Play it again, you know you want to. We both know how this ends. It ends with you. It always ends with you. You touched my face once for no reason. I've been rearranging my life around it ever since. We were somewhere between a joke and something that would matter. You were talking about a book you loved at 22, and I wasn't listening to the words. I was watching your hands move like they were conducting something only you could hear. That's when I knew I was in trouble. That's when I stopped trying not to be. Come undone with me tonight. Let's be something we won't explain. Let's be something we won't explain. I've been careful for so long, darling. I've forgotten what it's like to feel it rain. So come undone. I've been told I love too much, too fast, too deep, too long. I've been taking that as criticism, but tonight it sounds like a love song. Every nerve I've been politely ignoring is filing a formal complaint, and the complaint is you. It's always been you. I've been careful love before. All the standing at the edge of you pretending it's a door I could choose not to walk through. I was never gonna walk away. Let's stop performing that we don't know. Know that, oh, come undone. Come undone gloriously. Let's be something we won't explain. Let it rain. Come undone with me. Say my name one more time like it means something, and I'll never recover. You have a voice that was designed by someone with cruel intentions and excellent taste. When you speak in that register, the one you use when you're not performing anything, I lose several minutes of proctodurity and gain something I don't have language for yet. I've been trying to name it for months. The dictionary keeps coming up short. Are what happens when the heart stops asking permission, when the rational thing is standing there with all its reasonable arguments, and the irrational thing walks in anyway, wearing your face. You are the what happens when the heart stops asking permission. No committee, no debate, just this, yes. Before the sentence ends, before you finish the thought, yes, that's what you are to me, the yes. Before the question, every composed thing about me has a crack in its shape like you, not damage. Architecture, the kind of crack that lets the light through, that proves the structure held something real, that says here once something mattered enough to leave a mark. You are what happens when the heart stops asking permission. No paperwork, no logic, just the override. Just yes. Say my name. You know what it does. Say it anyway. I want to be Rex tonight. I've earned it. There's a version of brave I discovered the night I told you the true thing. Not the softened version, not the one with the caveats and the careful exits and the plausible deniability. The actual true thing, the one I'd been composting in my chest for months, the one that had grown roots, you didn't run. That's still the most romantic thing that's ever happened to me. This is not a careful love. I gave up careful at the door. This is the kind that builds its house on wanting, that knows the risk and wants it more. This is not a careful woman anymore. been careful in every other context. I am exceptional at careful. I can careful for 12 hours straight without breaking a sweat. But then there's you, and careful leaves the building. Careful doesn't even text. This is not a careful love. It's the one that shows its whole head. The one that says here, all of it, all of it. Every embarrassing, tender part of it. Take it or leave it, but you are going to see it. This is not a careful love. And I've never been so sure of anything. The truth is still alive, still growing. Still entirely yours. Loving you has made me a woman who believes in things again. I was good at the sinnersaken. I'd practiced it, wore it well. It's a flattering color on someone who's been disappointed enough to have earned it. And then you arrived with your inconvenient sincerity and your complete refusal to be anything other than exactly what you are. It's deeply considerate. I'm entirely grateful. You broke something in me that needed breaking. Not the good things, not the strong things, the lock things. The boxes I'd stopped opening, you didn't force them. You just stood nearby, being so relentlessly, exhaustingly real that the lock started feeling embarrassing. You broke the lock things open, not with force, with presence, just by being so completely there. That hiding started feeling like a waste. You broke the lock things open, and the light came through, and I let it for the first time in years. I let it. I believe in Tuesdays again, in the particular mercy of an ordinary evening, in the idea that two people can find each other in all this noise and make something quiet and real and permanent out of nothing but choice. I choose. Every morning I choose. You broke the lock things open, and I'm not putting them back. Not for anything. Not for anyone. I packed my things on a Wednesday, choose a boring day, less ceremony. The towels we argued over stayed behind. I let you by to every corner of that room. 5 years folded into cardboard by noon. It wasn't hate that moved my hands. was the last of what I understand. I loved you like a place I couldn't live, beautiful and wrong and all the sames. I loved you like the warmest kind of exit. I left with everything, you kept the stays. This is not a wound, this is a door to, and I love myself a little more. Someone asked me if I missed you lately. I said I missed the version we pretended, the one where we were generous and patient, the one we kept until the story ended. Not the arguments at 3 a.m., not the silence growing into something permanent. It wasn't hate that moved my hands, it was the last of what I understand. I loved you like a place I couldn't live, beautiful and wrong and all the sames. I loved you like the warmest kind of exit. I left with everything, you kept the stays. This is not a wound, this is a door to, and I love myself a little more. There's a particular kind of love that costs more than it gives back, and a particular kind of strength that looks exactly like turning back. I chose myself quietly in the hallway, holding my coat, not looking back. Oh, I loved you like a place I couldn't live, beautiful and wrong and all the same. I loved you like the warmest kind of exit. I left with everything, you kept the stays. This is not a wound, this is a door to, and I love myself a little more. The door closed soft, that was the whole point. I wanna be the last thing that surprises you, not the first, there have been others. Not the most dramatic, I know my competition. The last, the one that settles in after all the other revelations have cooled. The one that you're still turning over at 73, thinking yes, this one still, this one especially. I wanna be the love you didn't predict, not the fairy tale, not the movie, the real one, the one that looked ordinary from the outside and turned out to contain entire hidden rooms. Let me be the thing you didn't see coming, not the storm you braced for. Let me be the one that arrives like weather you needed, finally, finally here. Let me be the thing you didn't see coming and couldn't stop and didn't want to. Rooms you're still finding, rooms that keep appearing, rooms you didn't know a person could hold. I'm not asking for a miracle, I'm asking for one honest night. I'm asking you to stop making sense and let me make the same mistake I've been building toward for years. I'm not asking for forever in the grand gesture sense, I'm asking for forever in the ordinary sense. The cup on the same side of the sink, the particular way you'll know I've been in a room, the argument we have that we've already forgiven before it's finished. Let me be the thing you didn't see coming, I'm arriving. Let me in. I'll stay as long as you'll have me. The heating broke the week that you arrived. We laughed about it, layered up, stayed close. I think about that week more than I should. How necessity dressed up as something almost. We shared a blanket and a bottle of red wine and pretended we were fine, and we were mostly. Outside the city had gone gray and final. Inside you were the last warm thing I had. The last warm thing. Your voice across the kitchen, your coat still holding your shape on my chair. The last warm thing. November through the window, and you between the cold and the bare. I didn't know I was memorizing. I thought that warmth was something that would last. The last one thing, I held it without knowing, and the winter came and came and came too fast. By December you were someone else's story, or maybe you were always on your way. I kept the blanket, threw away the bottle, made a rule about the things allowed to stay. The heating worked again by January. The apartment felt enormous, felt like gray. Outside the city had gone gray and final. Inside you were the last warm thing I had. The last warm thing. Your voice across the kitchen, your coat still holding your shape on my chair. The last warm thing. November through the window, and you between the cold and the bare. I'm not sure love is always chosen. Sometimes it's just heat and you're just cold. Sometimes a story isn't what you tell someone, it's just a blanket and a hand to hold. But I would choose that November every time. Broken heating, wine, your shoulder cold. The last warm thing. Your voice across the kitchen, your coat still holding your shape on my chair. The last warm thing, and I was almost ready, almost warm enough to say I cared. I didn't know I was memorizing. I thought that warmth was something built to last. The last warm thing, I'm still returning to it. Every winter, every window, every glass. The heating works fine now, I barely notice. I spent my 20s building walls with windows. Let people see in, but not come inside. You were the first one who just stood there waiting. No crowbar, no agenda, just your time. And something in that patience broke my system. I opened up a door I'd sealed since 9. I didn't know how much I'd been hiding until you asked the questions no one tried. You were my learning curve, the education I kept failing to begin. You taught me that the asking is the answer, that being known is not the same. You were my learning curve, and I was slow and stubborn at the start. But you were patient with the years it took me to understand that open is not the same as apart. The second year I showed you the real version, the 2 a.m., the panic, the old shame. You didn't flinch, you made another coffee. You sat across from me and stayed the same. I've been so ready for the moment you diminished me. You just said, I know, I'm glad you came. I didn't know how much I'd been hiding until you asked the questions no one tried. Maybe I was always this person just waiting for someone to call me by my name. Not the name on documents and introductions, the one underneath, the one without the frame. You found it without looking, you said it without thinking, and I was never quite the same. You were my learning curve, the education I kept failing to begin. You taught me that the asking is the answer, that being known is not thus letting people in. You were my learning curve, I graduated late, but everything I learned inside that love is everything I carry, everything that stayed. That was always the point. I keep